Let's get into it. Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a really fun video that I don't do very often, or like haven't done in a long time, and that is a haul. I'm so excited. It's really just like a new release haul. These are books that I have gotten mostly over my birthday. So we're gonna go over my little haul. It's kind of like a disjointed haul because they're all from like different places and different times. But Saturday we went shopping and I got 3 books from Barnes & Noble, and then like a week ago I got 3 other books. So we're doing just a whole haul compilation of the books I've gotten recently. First up, we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is actually one, and I don't do this very often. This was like one of the first times that I've ever done this. But I actually purchased this book after reading it. Well, actually it was a gift from my sister, but I was with her at the time and I told her that I wanted it. She got it for me because for a birthday gift. But this book I listened to on audiobook about the beginning of February. I think it was like one of the first romance books that I read in February. This book is so incredible, guys. Like, if you guys are on the fence about reading this, or if you haven't read any Emily Henry yet, or whatever the case may be, read this book, guys. It is so good. It has second chance romance. It has enemies to lovers, sort of. It has, what's the word? Friends. It has friends to lovers. It has found family trope, which is like one of my favorite tropes, actually. I'm realizing. And it is just, it's such a good comfort read, guys. Like, I listened to this one on audio. The whole like 8-hour audiobook I listened to straight, no breaks, guys. Like, I was eating it up. I think I was at work during the time when I was listening to this, and I was just like, had it playing in my earbuds. Guys, I like was so immersed in this story. I can't even like explain it. Like, the setting, like I can still imagine the setting. I can still imagine the characters and like what they look like in my mind. Guys, seriously, read this book. I actually have already read People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I read them like a couple years ago. So I'm sure that I would like probably like them more if I reread them now. But this book is definitely my favorite Emily Henry book. None of the other ones compare. I read Book Lovers after I read this one, and I did enjoy that one too, but this will still, I think this will always be my favorite, guys. Like, even like people say that Beach Read is our favorite. I feel like that one did not compare to this one. I don't know if that's just like a personal thing, but I love this one. So highly suggest this, and I just had to have it so that I can probably reread it and tab it a lot. The series, I just got the first 2 because that's all that they had at my store. But I got Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh and Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh, which are book 1 and 2. Have heard great things about these books. I don't really know too much about them. I actually thought that this one, I knew that this one was about Johnny Kavanaugh, but I thought that this one was about his best friend, and I didn't realize that they were both about Johnny. But it kind of makes sense because they are like rugby books. They're based on like a, well, they're like they're a sports romance. They're rugby, and I think they're set in like Ireland, maybe, at like a school there. And it does make sense though, because I'm pretty sure that it's maybe like his jersey number. I don't know. I don't know that for sure because I really don't know much about these books. I just know that there's Johnny and Shannon, and then there's Gibbsy and somebody else. I can't even remember their name. But this is a sports romance book. This series, I don't know how many books there are in it, honestly, but guys, I've heard that the font is crazy. I've heard it's like found family, and that Destiny Sidwell, I'm sure everybody knows, Destiny Sidwell talks about this series a lot, and I think she kind of compares it to the Addicted series, which is also a found family, and I love that series. So I feel like I'm in the same kind of way. I will also love this series. So I've been wanting to get these books forever, but I didn't want the old cover. I wanted to wait until I found these covers, and they finally came out at the store near me, and I just got them impulsively. I was like, as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a sign. I've wanted these books for so long. So I finally got them, and I'm very excited to read these. They're gonna take me forever because the font is so absolutely tiny, and it's like Bible thin pages, but I am really excited. The books that I got at Barnes & Noble 2 days ago, Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Malors. This book has been on my TBR for so long. I've been wanting to get this book. I actually saw this at Barnes & Noble like a couple years ago, like a year or two ago I think, and I wanted it so bad, but it was hardback and I just wasn't crazy about the shape of it, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll like it or not. I didn't really like look at it that closely, but it kind of gave me that like artsy indie literary fiction vibe, and sometimes I can't do it. Like I would love to be able to read it, but it gets so confusing for me, and like I feel like the plot gets so lost on my brain that I can't. But this one is actually, it's supposed to be like very humorous debut novel by this author. It follows 24-year-old British painter Cleo, who has escaped from England to New York and is still finding her place in the sleepless city when a few months before her student visa ends, she meets Frank. Frank is 20 years older and self-made success, and his life is full of all the excesses Cleo's lacks. He offers her the chance to be happy, the freedom to paint, and the opportunity to apply for a green card. But their impulsive marriage changes their lives and the lives of those around them in ways they never could have predicted. While Cleo struggles with depression and Frank with drinking, Cleo's best friend tries to embrace his gender identity in the wake of her marriage and Frank's financially dependent sister. Stranger's sugar daddy dates after being cut off. Ultimately, this chance meeting between two strangers changes everything for better or worse. I really like books that really delve into character development, but still have that like humorous, light, relatable air about them, and I feel like this is going to be that. I also just feel like this cover is stunning. Like I just love it. Like I just want to display this book. I want a print of this book just like hung on my wall. Like I just think it's so beautiful, and I'm really excited to read this one. The next book we have is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This is one that I have all of a sudden just been hearing a ton about. I think that the second book just came out, and I think that's why I've been hearing a lot about it. But I heard in Destiny Sidwell, then I heard that she heard about it from Rachel Catherine, and then I watched Rachel Catherine's vlog and heard about it. Then I think I heard about it in like Katie is Reading was talking about buying the second book or something, and I just kept hearing about it. All of a sudden it was like all I could hear about, and I saw it in Barnes & Noble the other day, and I was like, well, I might as well get it. I actually saw the other version of it, and I was like, I don't think I want that. Like I don't like the cover very much. I wanted this version specifically, and I didn't realize that it was a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, but I like saw the book all over like the little tables that they put out, but then when I went to the actual like fantasy area, they had one copy of this style cover left, and I was like, oh, I need this. I love the cover. I love how it's like the book with all of like the nature. I just think it's beautiful. So, and I also love the edges. They look like they've been nibbled on by a mouse, and that's like my favorite. Set up in like journal style, like it's set up like she's writing it, which I love. I've always loved journal style writing. I don't know if it's because like I'm very much like a cozy comfort person. Like I'm very introverted. I love writing in my journal. I love the way that like it's set up through journal writing. Like it seems very personal, and I love that because I love translating my thoughts through words, because I love reading. I love seeing it that way. It feels very like sentimental memory that you can keep with like writing forever in like your thoughts and your words. So I love that. I literally journal every day, so I'm so excited to read this style, and I feel like you don't get that very often with a lot of writing. So the last one is actually a shocker for me. I was not thinking that I was going to find a book like this when I went shopping. The other two were kind of like expected, like I wanted to pick them up at some point, so it wasn't like too shocking. This one was a wild card for me for sure. It definitely looks like something that like I have like 10 other versions of this cover on my shelf somewhere. Like it looks very historical fiction-y, Renaissance painting vibe. But this is The Painter's Daughters by Emily Howes. And this book follows Peggy and Molly Gainsborough are best friends. They spy on their father as he paints and runs barefoot through the muddy fields that surround their home, but there's another reason they are inseparable. From a young age, Molly experiences bouts of mental confusion, even forgetting who she is, and Peggy helps to cover up her sister's condition. When the family moves to Bath and the sisters are thrown into the whirlwind of polite society, it's no longer too easy to hide Molly's slip-ups. Peggy knows the shadow of an asylum looms for women like Molly and that she must go to greater lengths to protect her sister's secret. But when Peggy falls in love, the sister's precarious situation is thrown catastrophically off course, especially when Molly betrays Peggy in the most unexpected of ways. As soon as I read this book, I knew that I needed, as soon as I read that little like summary blurb, I knew that I had to get this book. I love the way that it explores the life of like this time, and mental health during this time, sisterhood during this time, and kind of exploring like past the paintings. Like you're seeing these girls that have their paintings done and how to society looks very different from someone's actual reality and what is going on in their life that you cannot see through art. And I feel like it's going to kind of explore that. I have a sister, so I feel like I always love the like sisterhood stories. It's so cute and like I love that. But yeah, I love historical fiction, and I feel like the plot of this book sounds right up my alley. It sounds super interesting, so I am really excited for this one. I am obviously really excited for all of these books. It kind of hurts to know that like I still have a physical TBR and I can't read all of these books right away because I do kind of have to fill them in where I can while still getting through my physical TBR with books that I've had for like years. But yeah, I am excited to jump into these books soon, and I'm hoping that I will be able to probably do some reading vlogs including some of them. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's haul. That's all the books that I've gotten recently. And hopefully I won't be getting too many more because I am running out of room on my shelves, guys. Like, I actually don't even have room on my shelves, guys. It's scary. It's scary times over here. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more of like my reading vlogs, TBRs, wrap-ups, go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget to give this video a like. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!